Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. And after a couple of weeks, yes, we took a couple of weeks off. We needed to take some rest. After those 2 weeks of rest, we are back with a third season of our program, Opera We Love Singing. And we have a few surprises coming. One of them we are going to be sharing with you in about 30 minutes. I think it's a surprise that you are all going to love. But the second thing that I wanted to tell you is that we are so happy and so impressed because, well, if you have been following us for a few weeks or a couple of months already, you may have noticed that at the beginning of each cycle, at the beginning of each season, we have Katya singing something. And that's what we did for the third season. And it gained a good number of views in a very short amount of time, and we are so very happy, so very proud about it. And for that reason, we would like to dedicate today's program to the very beautiful country that you can see. Well, you can see the country, but you cannot see Katia. So now you can see Katia. uh, because we have that very beautiful country called the Philippines. The Philippines, according to YouTube, because we always talk about the people listening to us in the podcasts, and we hardly ever talk about the YouTube followers. But today we will be talking about them because the Philippines accounts for more than 50% of the view of that introductory video to the third season. And we are so happy, so astonished to see the very high response from that very beautiful country called the Philippines, that we really would like to thank you for that. You know, musicians, singers, artists in general feed from the love of people, and what more can we ask? What more than this love that we can ask that the one we just got from the Philippines? Katia, would you like to say something for the people from the Philippines?
Sure. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing your time and this love for the music and for the opera. It is a very beautiful surprise to know that we are being heard in a such beautiful place as Philippines. We are honored. Thank
And well, we are going to leave this beautiful image, at least from Google Maps, from the Philippines for the whole program, the entire program, because we really would like to dedicate today's program to the people in Philippines who will certainly be watching us. As you also know, we will continue in the next programs to add or to make our best effort to include information or music from the countries that are now following us. But enough for that. Season 3. What is season 3? Season 3 we are going to enjoy so much, because you may recall that season 2 was part or a number of the most popular arias uh, around the world, well, that have been beloved, well, very much loved around the world. But now it's time to share with you our own favorites. And we also decided that this is going to be a short season because if we were to share all the melodies that we love, this program would last 4 years. But so for that reason, we are going to keep it short, maybe 6 to 8 programs maximum. So today's the first one. And I know that you like it as much as I like it when Katya is the one who starts singing. So, Katya, what is it that you are going to share with us, and why do you love this melody?
I think that I will start this season with some old melodies that are special for me. In this case, I'm about to start with Per la Gloria de Adorarti because it's a beautiful song that I heard, well, like many years ago with Dame Juan Santander. And that's the it has a very special place in my heart. I think it's a very lovely melody, and I always remember this in this. So I hope that everybody there enjoys this as much as they will. And have sì, sì, io per sì, sì, io per non, non va male, mai vostri dirai, che voghi tempo mai, non, non va male,
And that very beautiful melody, Per la gloria de adorarvi, and the way it wraps, I mean, it ends in a very, I would say, intimate style because, it is not a high note, it is not an ornament, it is not a very long sustained note, it's just Lucicarmi. You see, it's like I don't know, like an expression of absolute
In
beauty.
Italian, perhaps I would like to read here an appointment that says con abbandono. That sounds to me.
Yeah, and as for my part, I wanted to share you that you are, if you have been following us for a good number of several programs, you already know that we like to do in this program whatever pleases us. More particularly, in my case, Katia is, you know, that she adheres a lot more to tradition than what I do. So, in a season where we are to share our favorites, I could do it even more. And even though we said that we will start with arias, I am going to be sharing anything but arias. Most of the parts that I will be sharing are parts that are declamato, parlato, quasi parlato, or any variation that is not really singing. But let me tell you why. It is not that I like arias. Of course, I do love them. But I have shared with you in the past that, and we also mentioned it in a previous program. Singing is, of course, an art, but the art of opera has a lot to do with theater. It's not only music; it has to do with theater. And singers are trained in the impostation for a clear, powerful, well done emission, but the technique for speaking or doing something else is different to the technique of the impostation of singing. And for that reason, there are many times that since the singer is very worried for what is coming next, pays little attention to how these phrases or parts fit into the drama. And to give you an example of that, I would like to share with you the most famous priestess of the history of opera, and that is, of course, Norma. People know Norma for the, of course, Casta Diva, which very few singers are able to sing, but they tend to forget that at the beginning, or at least at a few seconds after she appears on stage, she sings, or well, she does not really sing, but she has a part. Uh, and for that, you have to consider that she's from that religious perspective for the Druids, she's the highest authority. So she speaks with authority. Prior to singing Costa Diva, prior to singing that, she is in front of her people and she's not punishing them, but telling them, "Hey guys, what are you doing? You want to go into war with the Romans? That is not going to work. We are going to lose. They have more powerful weapons than we do." And only if the singer understands that herself is when you are going to clearly understand how Norma is the most important role for the Druids and for the whole drama. But if the soprano is worried that, oh my god, how I'm going to sing that, because right after that comes a Casta Diva. So it is usually given in a way of singing rather than in a way of a lot more like the clamato. And for that purpose, let me tell you what I think should be the tone of it. I think that the tone of it must be something like when you are, telling people, guys, you have to behave well, okay? So, but you are telling that with authority. And when she opens her phrases, she starts telling sediziosi voci voci di guerra. So she says, what are those voices who are claiming for war? Is there anyone who dares to do that in front of the altar of our gods? But she has to do it with authority. And that's what is usually missing. And that's why I usually like it. As in most of the parts that I will be sharing with you today, there is not a very firm reading in the score because it's expected not to be sung. So it is not mimim. It has to be sediziosi voci, voci di guerra, avi chi alzarsi attenta presso l'ora del Dio. Va chi presso me detta responsi alla veggente norma di Roma fretar il fatuo arcano e non dipende, no, non dipende da potere umano. If you see, it is not really singing, it's more, it is not shouting either, and it is not yelling, but it's not clearly singing. So when Orbeso has in its intervention trying to put a position against Norma and says, e fino a quando oppressi ne vorrai tu, contaminati assai, non fur le patrie selve e i templi aviti dall'aquile latine, o mai di Brenno oziosa, non può starsi la spada. And the choir joins because they still want to war and says, si brandisca una volta. And after that strong opposition of the male choir, Norma, again with that level of authority, goes and says, e infranta cada, infranta sì, si alcun di voi snodarla, anzi tempo pretende, ancor non sono della nostra vendetta i dimatori dalle si cambri scuri, sono i pini romani ancor più forti. Again, the Oroveso and the choir, the male choir of warriors, says, e che t'annunza il Dio parla quai sorti. This final part of the presentation of Norma, preaching their people, it's the one that I like a lot because if you know history, this is where, of course, Bellini, having lived after the extinction of the Romans, knows that Roma will die as a victim of its own sins. And that's what Norma says here. Io ne volomi arcani, leggo del cielo, in pagine di morte della superba Roma è scritto il nome, ella un giorno morrà, ma non per voi, morrà per i vizi suoi, qual consunta morrà. L'ora aspettate, l'ora fatal, che compia il gran decreto. Pace vintimo e il sacro vischio io mieto. If people tend to forget this passage, I would really, really, really love to encourage you to pay attention to this presentation because this is where we gain understanding of the authority of Norma. And if you follow it, it's a very dramatic part one. But as every time that I do something dramatic, we like to go back to Katya, who puts something fresher and nicer to the atmosphere.
Yes, because I'm a nightingale.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm a lot of nightingales, actually.
We know and we have heard you a good number of times. What is it that you are going to be sharing with us now?
Uh, in this moment, I will share Danza Danza Fanciulla Gentile. It is a special piece of music because I remember that when I was preparing to make my admission test for university, this was the piece that I was required. So it has a special place in my life.
Good. Let's go for that very beautiful song.
Danza, danza, fanciulla gentile, al mio cantar. girale, girale, al suono, al suono del mar. Senti il rumore del fuoco che balla con largo suono e che vedo forse sento cosa che invita a pensare, danza tanto la gente, la gente al mio cantare, al mio canzone,
And I wanted, now that you have shared this beautiful piece of music with us, I wanted to maybe uh, reframe something that we have shared in the past, that I really think that it is a gift. If you believe in God, of course, a gift of God. If not, remember we have shared with you in the past this beautiful passage from Le Fantôme de l'Opéra about the angel of music. And I really think it is a gift that one can read out to a melody or open a score and suddenly find something that you love, that you like, and say, "Hey, I'm going to sing this," just because I
yes.
can or because I like this thing that I just heard. How did you run into this beautiful melody and decided to make it part of your repertoire?
Um, my mom loves Spanish and gypsy music, so I was raised listening this kind of music too. Paso doble and gypsy things. So I have the taste for this kind of music too. So when I sing music like this one, I'm dancing within myself. It's like if it's like I am myself, Carmen. It's the same thing, and it's exciting. It's funny. It's but it's spicy.
Yeah, but that's thanks to the characteristics of your voice that you can sing that. Of course, that is not my case. My voice getting darker every day or every week. Uh,
People sing to death, to drum.
and because we all love drama, I would like to share with you now a part, a small passage that you must be very familiar with, and it is the La Preghiera da Desdemona in Otello, of course. This tremendous masterpiece by Maestro Giuseppe Verdi. And if you have seen Otello from beginning to end, it's an absolute drama from ah, and there is the one of the best villains of the world of the opera. I mean, Iago is a horrible monster, and I will be sharing with you my favorite monsters of opera. Of course, the villains of opera I will be sharing with you. But later today we are keeping these parts that are not really sung in the strict way. Are as for the before Desdemona in that final act when she will be killed in the hands of Othello. If you have seen it or either in a live presentation or in a video, you know that she's in her room, in the bedroom, the bedroom she shares with Othello, and she has this feeling that she will die that night. That of course it happens, But after having lived a very violent scene, the prior act wraps up in a tremendous violence of her being offended in front of everyone by her husband Othello. One leaves that act with the heart, or at least that is my case, that you feel something very heavy in your heart for Desdemona because you see how unfair uh, her husband Othello is being to her, how cruel, how offensive. So when she starts in the following act, and if you remember after that very beautiful melody from the hands of Maestro Verdi, she goes for her preghiera, her Ave Maria, and but people tend to forget that at the very beginning, before the Ave Maria, she says something. She's in a mood of you have to tell yourself, or you have to ask yourself. The soprano has to build the complete scene because Verdi has put the music there. That uh, sort of lonely, sad, that premonition of death of music, and the soprano has to match the same mood with the music. So how should a soprano start that phrasing when she says mia madre aveva una povera ancella? You remember, or you may recall that mia madre aveva una povera ancella innamorata e bella, era il suo nome Barbara, che amava un uomo che poi l'abbandonò, cantava una canzone, la canzone del salice. Mi discerna le chiome. When she asks Emilia, because Emilia is her maid and is helping her to undress and get ready to, she at the end will wait for Othello to join her in the bedroom. Emilia perceives that Desdemona seems not to be there. It's not Mimi singing, Mia madre aveva una povera ancella. It's like Desdemona is lost somewhere in her emotions. Like she's there, but she's really not there. Like she's escaping to a place where she's still happy when she was young. And that's why she recalls, Mia madre aveva una povera ancella, of course, recalling her mother. With that in your mind, when you, well, next time that you watch Othello or that you listen to Othello, pay attention to that phrasing. Even though it's almost sung, it is not as legato and very well sustained as if you were singing Puccini's music or a more lyrical Verdi. It is like you are lost. Mia madre aveva una povera ancella, innamorata e bella, era il suo nome Barbara, che amava un uomo che poi l'abbandonò, cantava una canzone, la canzone del salice, mi discerna le chiome. Io questa sera ho la memoria piena di quella cantilena. And right after that is when the La Canción del Salche, that song actually starts. But that very beautiful introductory part of pure sadness and premonition of death is what actually opens that act. And that's why the soprano must be so in a full state of concentration, because too beautiful will not make it believable. A very beautiful scene is not what we are pursuing. We are pursuing a woman who has suffered so much. It is very difficult to end up watching Othello and not feeling so bad because Desdemona is the victim from the beginning till the end. In a way, Othello is also a victim of himself, if you wish. But at the end, the one who is punished in front of everyone and with injustice is Desdemona with herself. So I wanted to leave this note about Desdemona. But let's go back to what Katya shares with us, which is less dramatic than this. What do you have for us now?
I don't think so.
You have something dramatic? Don't tell me that.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, share with us. What is it going to be?
Okay, this is going to be Ho cessato di piegarmi. I want to prove myself that I can be more than worth.
Okay.
Maybe a dramatic bird.
Okay, a dramatic bird it will be then. Because,
Okay.
and maybe just because you start uh, the sadness, and let me, maybe you would like to take also a minute to explain. You can sing uh, notes that appear to be happy, but it is the artist who conveys the sense of happiness, drama, sadness, thankfulness, and all of that. So,
Yeah.
how do you prepare? Because and it is your case because of your voice. You are more used to expressing joy, cheerfulness, a happy, open person. How do you actually work it within your mind when you have to perform something more like
Yes,
this?
I think that this is part of being an artist, a real one. I could feel comfortable and safe only singing like a bird because most of the repertoire is written that way. But I have to keep in mind that it's not the only thing that I can express. I can mainly express it, not exclusively. And for example, the you mentioned Queen of the Night. She's the main one in the story, and she's a coloratura. So uh, you have to see all these virtuosos, but not as a birth. You are the queen of the night, asking your daughter to kill someone. So you can use these fireworks to express drama and hate. So it's all about understanding the character. Probably I will not sound as Norma or like Chocho, but in my voice I can express drama.
Yeah,
I mean, I cry and I cry like, like right, but I'm crying.
you cry in your own way. Yeah,
Yes.
you cry the
So
way your tessitura allows to do it.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, let's then enjoy that beautiful song then. And you just did something that I want to say in front of everybody here who is watching or who will be listening to us. Now you need to share that score with me because I am going to work on that piece too.
I want.
And you just heard that she will share with me the score. I have never noticed how beautiful this song is. I think you know there is a number of arias
It's
music
okay.
that you listen but that you
Uh,
never pay attention to. And this time I need to work on that one. I really do.
it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and it's so loaded of drama. I mean, I think that all of us in a certain moment of our lives has faced this situation. I want to stop suffering, so I want this problem ends, or I want to die. Let me die. If this is not gonna stop, let me rest.
It's I have to work in that on that piece. It's all I can say.
Yes,
It
all of
really.
you have to work on this.
Okay, so as we are reaching almost half of the program already. Over 35 minutes have already passed by that quickly. I was telling you that there were very good, very positive news that we wanted to share with you, and those news. I'm going to tell you the introductory phrase, and then Kate is going to tell you a little more. Uh, after having put much thought on it, because Katia is a very formal professional. She decided that she is taking some singing students in the weeks to come. So why don't you tell
Yeah.
people a little more about it?
Well, I think that, I want to share with all of you that last week I finally got graduated from the university as a professional musician. And, well, I experienced working with different kinds and levels of students, but I'm ready and pleased and honored to share uh, with you all my knowledge and my experience as much as possible. I really appreciate that every single day we have more listeners, and I think that it would be nice to give you even more. I would like to thank you because you let me share my voice with all of you and my words with a character or a self, but I would love to share so much more of what I have to give. So, soon as possible, I think that in a couple of weeks, we'll be giving you more information where you can write me or send a message to start working with all of those that are interested in taking some lessons.
So, people, in the weeks to come, we will share with you. Well, actually, it's going to be Katia, but I will be putting it on the screen and all in the podcast information. Katia will be putting together some singing classes for people who are interested. So more information to come. I know that so far you have had this wonderful chance of appreciating Katia's voice, and she has been. For how long have you been teaching people to sing? How many years already?
About 10 years.
Up to 10 years, and of course she has been a singer for more than those years. Remember that we never give our age so that you don't do the math, but more than 10 years. So provided that you have heard the quality of musician that she is, you will soon have the chance of, if you are interested, of having her as your singing professor. More to come next. But now
Thank you.
it's time to go back to the drama. Why not? And this time we have Maria Stuarda by Donizetti. And there is a confrontation scene. By the way, Donizetti really loved like to confront people on stage. If you recall Lucia de la Mermur, when the two lovers, when Edgardo is confronted to Lucia, and did you sign that letter so that you will be married? Maledetto sia l'istante, etc., etc., etc. And then it wraps up with a splendid concertante. It happens the same in Maria Stuarda. But it is this time is not a lover confronting Lucia. It is now a queen confronting another queen. And it is very interesting because this is the second example of a dramatic piece, mostly sung, sorry, more spoken than sung, and it has to come from a voice of bel canto. And as we have shared in the past, voices of bel canto are usually not huge, powerful voices. They are more into the perfection on the line of singing and the notes and the precision of the ornaments. So that's why it is very interesting that Donizetti wanted to kill her Maria Stuarda in front of everybody, because requesting a bel cantista voice for singing what we are about to sing is just out of this place. And the scene that I have in my mind that from my perspective is the best recording that I have heard is in the voice of the Turkish soprano Leyla Gencer. Leyla Gencer having a well-suited voice for bel canto. Even Leyla said, I don't have a huge voice, but she knew she had the excellent technique to make it sound everywhere in the theater. You don't have to have a huge voice for people to hear you. What you need is technique. And Leila knew it. And it is very particular that even though she knew she didn't have that tremendous voice, she happens to master this scene that is really tough. It's short, but it's tough. She's confronted to Elisabetta, and in her own palace, she dares to tell this figlia impura di Bolena, parla tu di disonore, meretrice indegna e oscena, intecada il mio rossore, profanato il solio inglese, vil bastarda dal tuo pie. So, what can you have in your mind when you're Donizetti and you are willing to have a bel canto voice sing something like this? Figlia impura di Bolena, which means you're the bastard daughter of Bolena. I mean, it is not politically correct, of
But with
course.
beautiful voice, of course.
Yeah, with a beautiful voice and saying, Figlia impona di Bolena, parli tu di disonore, meretrice indegna scena, intecada il mio rossor. Right after that, and the voices even deformed more, I really encourage you to look for that scene recorded by Leyla Gencer, because it's absolutely astonishing how she does it with her voice. And let me take it with you from the beginning. Figlia impona di Bolena, parli tu di disonore, meretrice indegna scena, pena in te cade il mio rossor profanato del sogno inglese vil bastarda dal tuo pie. She sings it like that with pie, and at that moment you are, my God, she's going to lose her head, and in fact she ends up being killed. This is so difficult to do, and that's why I appreciate it so much in the voice of Leila Gencher, because everybody's waiting for the astonishingly concertante that comes after that. That I'm not sure what is written, but I think that Leila sang a E flat. I think that she sang an E flat above all the orchestra, so it's really amazing. But just think on what you have to do with your voice. For a male voice like mine or any other male, it's much easier. But just think of a female voice singing that "Vil bastarda dal tuo pie." It's something that really Donizetti really didn't love Maria Stuarda. It was the best
Yes,
excuse.
um,
The
it
best.
reminds me to Maria Gulagina singing this Nabucco. Help me.
Yeah. You mean the duet or the aria?
The aria.
Yeah, it is. Anch'io dischiuso un giorno.
But I mean, it's
At the end
like
comes the cabaletta.
10 feet tall, and I mean they're powerful and big girls, and they have powerful and big voices.
So yeah, if you ask for this scene to Maria Guleguina, you say, perfect to her voice. But to ask this from a bel canto voice, and
No, it's like mortal.
and you have to sing it with all all in the character, because if you sing it Meretrice avieta scena vil bastarda dal tuo pie, it loses all sense. So the way I did it
No,
was,
it's like il nome.
yeah,
No,
il
that's not.
nome. It has to be il nome. You see, it's pretty much like that. Again, too much drama. Let's go back to Katya's. What is it that you're
To
saying?
a more beautiful and sweet and birdie drama.
Okay. What are you saying
Yes,
now?
I will sing Nina. It's drama,
It is. It is.
but it's sweet and birdie.
It is.
I don't know if that word exists, but it should.
I'm afraid I didn't get that. Your voice froze a little. What was the last you said?
I'm not sure that birdie it exists, but it should.
Yeah, it should.
It would be like pajaroso in Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Let's keep pájaros. I really don't know how to translate them. Okay, a
Yeah,
birdie.
it was
Okay,
a very.
birdie.
I
Okay.
will keep singing. Tre giorni
this melody also recalled me that one usually thinks that beauty is in when you're singing something beautiful, but I think that beauty can also be found in sad pieces, like this one. One usually thinks that sad is just sad, but sad can be beautiful, like in this case. And this
Yeah,
will
that
be the
sounds
second
pretty good.
score that you will be sharing with me.
Okay, the second one I will not.
Okay. That's what I was expecting from you. Thank you very much. Uh, we're keeping the drama, but a different part of the drama. Let's go back to my very favorite Macbeth. Again, go back to Giuseppe Verdi. Um, you may recall from a few programs ago that I was telling you, and that was one of the programs dedicated to coloratura, when I was telling you that it is a very weird coloratura that Macbeth, that Verdi wrote here in Macbeth, because Macbeth is for a very big, huge voice like Gulegina, the one we were mentioning before, Dimitrova, and that kind of singer. Mezzo sopranos with good notes go also for Macbeth, but also keep in mind that Verdi wrote in his notes that this role was not meant to be sung. And if it was to be sung, it had to be sung with that utterly horrible, dark voice. Because Lady Macbeth is a horrible person from inside and the outside. And that's what she has to project. And that's why your coloratura are not like Leonora's or like in other Verdis, and it has to be like heavy, like dark. And there is a very full scene still in the first act, after they have decided that they are killing the king because they want the prophecy that they will be kings to become real. And the way to become it real is killing the king themselves, which is an easy way to resolve it from my perspective. But I will be making lots of pauses, but I don't. Hopefully, I will not make it this too long because there are very several things that I wanted to mention or to share with you. Because and also one of the things with Macbeth is that it needs very good actors. Not that it does not need very good singers, but it needs very good actors. You will see why. Right after that, Macbeth. Remember Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, or Macbetto, he is also called Macbeth, has decided to follow up Lady Macbeth's instructions of killing the king. He leaves the stage and now enters Lady Macbeth and says, recitando sempre sotto voce. That is the note on the score, recitando. Is that not say singing? Even though there is a legato note here, it does not need really to be legato. And says, regna il sono sotto ti, oh, qual lamento, risponde il goffo al suo lugubre addio. Then we hear the voice of Macbetto. Chi va? Che fosse di targo uscito prima del colpo mortal. And the note says presto. It is not sung. Che fosse di targo uscito prima del colpo mortal. Then Macbetto returns to the stage and says, remember that Macbetto will end up losing his mind because of the remorse he feels for having killed the king. He's coming back to the stage right after killing the king, and he's nervous. He's losing he cannot keep his posture. He almost cried in the hands of in the arms of Lady Macbeth, which will make her upset a little later. So he comes back to stage and says, con voce soffocata e lento, that is the note, tutto è finito, fatal mia donna un murmure, come io non intendesti. She replies, del gufo di la stridere, teste che mai dicesti, io, d'ansia dirti parvemi,
mentre scendessi lì nelle stanze attigua chi dorme il regal figlio ho visto orribile storna da questo il ciglio ho visto orribile
Always with that soffocato voice, so it is not really sung but soffocato.
Ah, nel suono dicoravano i cortigiani ed io sempre m'assistai dissero a men dir voglio anch'io ma la parola indocile gelò sui labbri miei
And then she interrupts and says,
follie perché ripetere follie quella me non potrei
and then in this strange coloratura or way of writing of Verdi says,
follie che sperdono i prima allor che ira le preme sperdo in prima allor follie
this last folie of Lady Macbeth, that dark, very dark way of saying
follie
means you're crazy. There are no voices in that room, just kill him. So Lord, he says, per questa magione non c'è solo per Macbeth il suono per sempre. I'm going to skip a little part.
il suono per sempre la mi suoccidesti non ve che vigila candore per te
And she replies,
ma dimmi altra voce non parti d'udire sei vano Macbeto ma privo d'ardire la missa mezzopra vaccini terresti fanciol vanitoso caudore tu sei
Comangil. Then it goes a little further, the singing of Macbetto. I am going to skip it a little further because I want to reach the part when when she says, "Hey, but you are going to be seen as the one who killed the king. You have to go back and put blood on the guards so that the people think that the guards killed the king themselves." And Macbetto is so scared that that he says, "Oh no, there's no way I'm coming back." And at that point, Lady Macbeth is so upset because she still wants to be the queen that she yells, "Damn il ferro!" That's another place where now the soprano, even if she has a huge voice, if she loses the impostation to yell, she risks to damage it before what comes next. But if she doesn't lose the impostation and if she doesn't yell, then it is not believable. Because then she says, "Dammi il ferro!" And it's not "Dammi il ferro!" It is not like that. Let me go to that part when she says,
il pugnal la riportate, le sei guardie insanguinate, che la cosa non ricada, io colà non posso entrar.
And that's when she says, "Dammi il ferro!" And then he's alone. He says,
ogni rumore mi spaventa, o questa mano non potreve l'oceano, queste mani a me lavar.
She comes back and says,
ve le mani olor d'anch'io, poco sprozze monde sol, no branchessa andrà in oblio.
He says,
osi tu, raddoppia il son.
Then it comes another part that it's very, very fast.
Vieni, via tra mio ogni sospetto, rivianda l'uccisore, tu te fa cor Macbetto, non ti vinca un timor, o potessi il mio delitto veramente cancellar, o potessi un re trafitto, a te sonno a te spezzar, vieni tra me ogni sospetto, rivianda l'uccisore, tu te fa cor Macbetto, non t'acu su un vil timor, a non ti vinca un vil timor. Ah no, vieni, 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 vieni.
That final phrase of "Vieni, vieni, people say, of course, it's an interpretation of people who say it's Lady Macbeth carrying Macbetto to the path of hell. Now that they have killed someone and they have decided to put the blame on the guards and that they are doing everything to cover it, they leave. They leave the stage in silence in that horrible tone of bien, bien, bien. That cannot be sung because it sounds of natural, not natural. Bien, bien, bien. It has to be with a decomposed voice. Again, we have to confront the singer to becoming more an actor than a singer himself. This part of the duet I really, really like a lot. But let's go back to Katya's, who always has something less darker than what I am sharing.
Totally not dark.
Thanks God. Too much darkness already.
Yes.
What is it now?
I have Nel corpio non mi sento.
Yes. That one I already have the score, so I'm not asking for it. Nel corpio non mi sento. Oh my God. Let's go for that beautiful aria.
Let's go ahead. Nel corpio non mi sento brillare a gioventù, pasion del mio tormento, amor sei colpa tu. Me pezzi, me stucchi, me punti, me basti, che cosa questo è me? Pietà, 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 amore, vedi, dormi nel cuore non mi sento brillare come tu, cagion del tormento. Amore sei colpa tu, mi penti, mi stuzzichi, mi pungi, mi basti, che cosa sto in me? Pietà, oh pietà, amore, che sperare.
I have many times asked myself how this music can be so like reconforting to the heart because this whole phrase of nel corpio non mi sento da, da, da. The melody is like carries you away in a mood of peace, beauty. I don't know what other words to use to describe that.
Um, yeah, it's like relaxing. I mean, I I think this a kind of oh my God, I'm um, querubino,
Uh-huh.
uy, que zapete.
It's like what?
I'm not understanding what's going on with me. I don't feel the same way. Something's changing. Something feels weird, and I'm sure it's love. So I think that this is something proper of a teenager, and that's what it makes that it's a tender suffering, and probably that's what music makes us feel and be well and carried on this.
Yeah, I cannot do anything but agree. There is too much beauty in that piece. And as we have
Yeah.
already exceeded 1 hour, my God, you won't believe it. We are approaching the
But it's
end.
a fun program, so I think that it was worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. I still have like four numbers, but I will just choose one. And since I love Zarzuela and I love Luisa Fernanda, I'm going to take an excerpt. We have also mentioned that in the what are called the minor genders, such as the operetta and the zarzuela, called, but Luisa Fernanda could be an opera itself because of the strong argument, the story, the plot told in there, and the quality of the main singers that is required. There is a scene. mm, I'm going to choose the scene of Luisa instead of the final scene of three characters because I already shared with you a duet. So to keep it shorter, I am going to share this scene because, again, this is sort of a confrontation of her and La Duquesa Carolina. La Duquesa Carolina and herself are somehow fighting for the love of Javier. Of course, the tenors, you know that uh, women like to fight over the love of a tenor, so we all know that. No, no more reason to explain that. So, but so far, La Duquesa Carolina is the winner because the ambitious Javier is leaving Fernanda for the rich, powerful woman in the bourgeoisie, which is the Duchess, right? So, but Luisa Fernanda is poor. Even though Luisa Fernanda grew with Javier, she's been put aside so that he can follow. And the whole plot of Luisa Fernanda happens in the middle of rising. They raise in arms to fight the queen, and that's why that La Duquesa Carolina arrives to Luisa Fernanda's house somehow looking for shelter and protection because there are fights all over the place. So she arrives, with all the I am the Duchess, so make me a room so that I can stay. But Luisa Fernanda confronts her in this scene. It is going to be in Spanish, so I apologize, but there is not enough time to translate everything. But in this part, Luisa Fernanda shares why is it that just because you are rich, you are entitled to have everything you want? Why is it that you are rich, you can look with disdain to everyone? Why can't we be opposed just as two women, as two humans, instead of two people who are different because of money and power? That's the and that's a very difficult part because again there are still around 20-25 minutes for singing. So this scene that is more declamato goes like, let me go back because I left it in the wrong page. I was supposed to have it ready, which, oh, yeah, now I find it. Oh, then again, let me see, it has to be there. And sorry to keep you waiting, but I left it in the last scene because I thought that I was going to do the last scene, but that is not what I am going to do. So, in this confrontation scenes, Luisa Fernanda starts saying, el que corresponde a un grito de rebeldía. Sí, padre, no puedo más. Luisa Fernanda saltó. Ya es hora de que hable yo y me escuchen los demás. The notes in the libretto says, now talking to the Duchess Carolina, says, para usted la vida es bella, mirada desde su altura, pero qué triste y qué dura cuando hay que luchar por ella. Riquezas, las que heredó, alegría, la que pide, amores, los que compró, las diversiones logradas y los caprichos colmados, y para los desgraciados, unas piadosas miradas. Venga un orden diferente, mejor o peor, no sé, pero donde usted y yo nos veamos frente a frente, ni más baja ni más alta, al nivel del corazón que, con la misma emoción, lo mismo palpita y salta. Mas lo que no puede ser es que usted tenga derecho a las ansias que en su pecho haya sentido nacer y además, por el placer de abrumar con su grandeza, a ensombrecer de tristeza los ojos de otra mujer. This is the scene where Maria Luisa Fernanda confronts the Duchess. A very difficult scene because, as you see, it has really to be declamato, and she has to go back to the impostation for singing and continue ahead with a very interesting rapping scene, which we will share later. But now it's time to wrap up, and of course, we are wrapping up with Katya's sharing with us a final piece, and she has just made the face, oh, I do not have something else ready. You don't have anything to
I'm
improvise?
always ready.
Oh, you're already ready. I forgot. So remember that this is our first episode of season 3. We hope to see you in the following programs where we are sharing now our very own, very much beloved arias. And also that today we want to thank people in the Philippines from the bottom of our hearts for really watching and appreciating our third season this fast. Thank you very much.
Sila koi pati bel moru che dolce por la luce noi la ci ma poi chissà dirà quel che vorrà dirà dirà Sguardo dolce assassì, che bel infatti, che sguardo dolce assassì.